What's happening, everyone? You're back with me, Jazz, at Endless Road, and today, now that we've done the painting on all the woodwork, we can now get on with some of the retrimming. I'm going to be using this stuff, which is like a tweed fabric.
Got my tweed pressed.
I believe it's called chenille, or something like that. Anyway, I don't know how you pronounce it. And I'm pretty sure in America it might be called marathon fabric. You see it on a lot of off-grid camper vans in America. So I thought I'd have a bash at fitting this. I haven't got a clue how well it's gonna go around all the curves and stuff of all the pillars and everything. Obviously the four-way stretch carpet is designed to do that, and we know it works well at that. I just don't like the look or the feel of it. So we'll give this a go. Yeah, if you've never trimmed something before, I've only done it once. Follow this video along with me. Maybe it'll help you out on how to fit this stuff if you choose to fit it. Tools I used and you will need to trim the inside of your camper van. So a tape measure, some 2-inch tape, obviously some spray glue, a marker pen, and then either like a Stanley knife blade or one of these ones that has the extendable and it breaks off. Definitely use a new blade in it.
It's the day one.
And obviously be careful, cut away from yourself. Some shears or some really good scissors with like big blades on them is good. I don't actually have any of them to hand. I've gone and covered them all with fiberglass from doing the motorbike fairings. Some kind of workbench or trestle, and it helps if you can have like two of them. One, if you're trimming parts, then you can have the part on one, and then you can lay your cloth on another. And a big roll of masking paper is helpful because you can put that over the trestle that you're going to be putting your cloth on, spray the glue onto the cloth, and then you can stick it on whatever you're trimming. But obviously when you go to trim something else, then you don't want to put your nice clean cloth on that masking paper that's got all over spray of glue on it. So you want to chuck that piece of paper in the bin, put a new piece of paper down to do your next bit of trimming. A rubber mallet for putting back your door rubbers on. Obviously if you're taking door catches off, like up there and stuff, you need whatever tools you need for them. So in this case I think it's T30. In this video we're going to be trimming the D pillars, the C pillar by the sliding door, the top part of the roof structure there, around the driver's side window, my roof panels that go in between the walls and the ceiling, there's 4 of them, the insides of the pods and the window sills. So now that I've got all that out of the way, let's crack on with it. A few little things we need to do before we can do that. Obviously because we got to use spray glue, we don't want it going on certain things, and the fabric has to tuck behind certain things. So we need to take the rear rubber off and the top latch at the rear end. What I will have to do for the window is, you've got these stupid holes here. I'm gonna have to make something to cover over them, and then I'll have to put some fabric over whatever I make, because I don't want those holes staying there. And same again for this area, the C pillar. I'm pretty sure that is a seatbelt mount for the second row of seats in like a caravel or whatever. We don't want that hole staying there, so we're gonna have to make a cover for that as well. One more thing that I'm gonna do before I stick the fabric on is you've got all these little holes, especially in the D pillars. I'm not really sure whether it's vital to do it, but I'm gonna stick some vinyl stickers over them all just to give a little bit of support, so you don't see dips in the fabric on them all. I think it'll do the job. If not, then all I've wasted is some time. We've done them all, both sides. Now obviously to get it to stick you need spray adhesive, so there's loads of different brands of it. I've just got this one by a company called PMA, and it pretty much tells you how to do it on the back of the can. Spray it on what you're sticking your fabric to, then spray it on the back of the fabric as well. Wait for it to go tacky before you use the spray glue. Cut your fabric to roughly the size, obviously a bit bigger in length and width, because you don't want to find out that you're sticking it to it and then you're too short in places. Then put the glue on and then just start in one area and work your way along by manipulating it as you go. Okay, I've got this piece laying on my roll. I'm just using this as a template. It's a piece of scrap cloth, but this is the size I want, so I'm using that to roughly cut the shape and size of the piece that I'm going to use. Another good tool to use would be some nice shears. Right, so that's the bit we're going to use. Roll that one out of the way again. Right, so let's get some glue on this. I'll now do it on the van. I'm going to have to do this flipping a bit awkward now. Okay, now we gotta be careful. I don't think there's any point wearing gloves with this because it'll just be pulling your gloves off. So I'm just going to stick that out of the way. And now you just got to manipulate it and pull it as you're going. Bit like vinyl wrapping, although I'm no good at that. I'd never attempt that. Because I've flipping eyebrows and pubes and everything in it. But you gotta kinda like peel it off, peel it on and stuff as you go in. And this is similar. And then just press it into all the shapes. Okay, that's that surface done. Now we need to bend it around the corner. It's all stuck down and tucked into the corner. I had to do a relief cut by there so it would go around. I just noticed this morning now, because I did this yesterday, it has like some creases have appeared there. Might have to unstick this area, put some glue on again to get rid of those. And it's the same this side as well. There's some, it's hard to see them on the camera, but you can feel them. Now we all know people use the four-way stretch stuff on these areas, and that's what it's designed to do. Just my opinion now, and I've said this before, I can't stand the stuff. So because I'm using this tweed stuff, I wasn't sure whether this would bend around all the curves and different directions that these pillars go in. Turns out it's not too bad. Because it's a weave, you can actually stretch it in a few different directions. It will actually pull, and it'll, like, you know, distort the weave and bend round them. So it worked out quite well. The only area I had to do a relief cut was it right in this corner here. I'm not sure whether my ceiling panels will cover that. If not, then I'll just put an extra piece in there. Where I've done this piece and this piece separate, I cut this to the actual joint in the metal there, and then I left this one a little bit further over and then overlapped it to make a nice soft edge that won't fray, and then glued it up. One top tip I will give you, like, I'm not an expert in this, you know, I know as much as you guys, but when using the spray glue, obviously it's like silly string, it goes everywhere. You don't want that going over your rear lights and your doors and everything else. Get yourself a piece of cardboard, and when spraying it onto those areas, work your way down with the cardboard and use that as a shield. So yeah, that's what I've done so far. I'm pretty damn happy with that. Now, before we can get on with retrimming the C-pillar and around the window, as I mentioned, we've got these voids to address. So what I've done is I've cut a really thin sheet of carbon fibre and I've just screwed it in place just for now. Although I can't get to the bottom of it because all this is in the way. It would help if I had a 90-degree angle drill, but I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bond this on now, and that, I don't know whether you can see, is covered over all that void. So I've made a masking tape template and then laid that on this sheet of carbon fibre and then cut it out on the bandsaw. It's literally like 1 mil thick carbon fibre. Really, it's solid, but it's got a bit of play in it. It does bend, which is perfect for this. And then I've done the same again for this part next to the window. So I've cut, which side is it now? Yeah, cut this piece of carbon fibre. Again, making a tape template. So I'll glue that on as well, and then the cloth can go straight over the top of it. They're now fitted, but I did have to change my thinking slightly, and I had to put some screws in. So I put 2 screws in the middle, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, simply to pull it in, because the carbon fibre is quite stiff. Even though I thought it was flexible, it still wasn't sitting tight to the metalwork, even with tape on it. So yeah, the screws are pulling it in now. As for this side, I've just got tape holding it in place at the bottom and 2 screws at the top, which I'll probably take out. I've already done the inside of this pod. Pretty simple, really. It was just, you know, measure it by eye, by holding the roll of cloth up against it, and then trimming it to shape, spraying the glue on both things, and then slapping it in.
Slap the base.
Did have a little bit of cloth sticking down as I wrapped it up there. Trimmed that off. Another little bit at the bottom there, but yeah, pretty much all of it tucked up inside the cavity there. So yeah, now we just gotta do this one. So if I get some glue on there first. Some glue on the pod. I don't know what it's like with all cans of spray glue, but this one the fan alters the amount you press it down. So if you press it fully, you get a big wide fan. But if you just press it a little bit, you can get a little spot jets from it. And obviously half press down, you only get a half fan then. This works out quite well. Right, we'll give that a couple of seconds, tack off a bit, and bang it on. Okay, so start at the top. Get it to the top edges all nice and flat, and then start working your way down from there. Nicely behind all of that. We got some trimming at the bottom though. This end. The only trouble with putting it over this sound deadening installation-y stuff, close cell foam, is that the tinfoil part of it creases a lot, which then can show up in your cloth then as well. Obviously, if you've got glue all over your hands, don't go wiping it all over your cloth. Right, get the blade and we'll trim off the excess. There we go. That's the next pod done. I think my blade's gone a bit blunt now. Time to change it. Right, I'm going to attempt to do that one in one piece. I'm not sure whether it can be done with this cloth. It would if you had the 4-way stretch. As you can see, I've masked the window up. I think if I used that cardboard shield, I would still get it over the glass. So it was easier just to mask it up. And I've taken off the edge and trim as well. That was easier because then I can do the cloth right to the edge of the metal and put the edge and trim over the top of the cloth. Right, I've just gone a little bit further so that the B-pillar trim will cover the carpet as well. Oh, let's give it a go. So I've positioned it as far this way possible because this is where we need the most extra material because it's got the bends. Do need a little bit by here though. I don't know what that noise is. Someone's messing about with the bloody brakes on their bike or something. If you can hear it. Been at it all morning. Try and make sure I don't get any glue on my seats.
A few moments later.
I'm not sure whether this is gonna work.
One hour later.
Oh, I fucked it. I needed that bit. Oh well. God damn it. Failed. Well, I thought I failed, but somehow I've managed to do it by repositioning. So hopefully you can see that is still the same piece of cloth. I haven't cut another one. I'm not lying. So yeah, now I just need to cut off the excess. I think I'll put a new blade in for that because it's getting a bit blunt now. Try and use the edge of the metal as my guide for cutting. Make sure not to obscure any of the poppers for the B-pillar trim to go on. Be careful when you're cutting next to the glass as well, that you don't cut into the glass. Although the blade won't really damage the glass, you've got that black paint that's on the inside of the glass. You can definitely take that off and then you'll see it from the outside. So hopefully I haven't done it. If you've only done it a little bit, you can paint some black paint over the inside and you won't see it from the outside. But obviously you want to try and minimize it or not do it at all. Right, I think I've done it. I have got a little crease in it there, but I can live with that. Again, it doesn't have to be neat and tidy in the areas that you're covering up. So obviously the trim needs to go around the edge of that now, and that'll hide any of the fray in there. I'm not too worried about that. You'll only see that if you're ducking down and looking up there. And obviously the B-pillar trim goes there. Happy days, it worked. Sort of. Like I said, do have a tiny crease there. With the offcut of that was covering all the glass, I managed to do this piece here, which was probably the easiest piece to do out of any of them, and this piece around the C-pillar. So it's all covered with that carbon fibre section now, and you can't hardly tell it is there. I really need to get a spotlight or get my lights in the van wired up. But yeah, that's in now, and if you're watching this and you're wondering why it ends there, well, there's a windowsill to go in that area, and that covers that edge there. So the only other things we got to retrim now are the two windowsills and the panels that go above them, in between them and the ceiling. Pretty sure these are going to be the hardest thing out of all the retrimming jobs, and I ain't going to be able to do these in one go, because you got 4 bends there, and it's just going to pleat and crease and everything. So I think I'm going to have to do this face in one piece and this in another piece. I'm not quite sure which order to do them in, but I think I'm going to start off with this side and then cut that. Obviously that'll then have to have a join in it, and I'll have that at the top somewhere. I don't know whether any of you remember, we're going back a few videos now to where I actually made these and debuted them. I said I was going to put some like really thin foam on here, because obviously that's going to be where your pillows go in, just to make it a bit extra squidgy. Well, I looked into getting that foam. It was like 5mm thick or 4mm or something, and flipping heck, the price on it was ridiculous for what it was. It was like £5 for a sheet about that big, like A5 size. So add that up, it would have cost to do it out of them, both sills, it would probably cost nearly as much as my mattress, and there's a hell of a lot more foam in the mattress. I did find someone then who did it on a roll, still wasn't much cheaper, so I thought, right, until I can find somewhere that does it for a suitable price, a price I'm happy to pay for the thickness of this stuff, I ain't gonna bother. And it suits me as well, because I like to do things, because this is my first camper van, do things in a way that each camper van then will get better. So we'll start off with no foam on this one. Next camper van, by that time I hopefully have found somewhere that supplies really thin foam at a nice price. That camper van then will have foam on the windowsills. Because I need to just do this area now, I've set it up on 2 trestles, so it's suspended in the middle, so I can glue it on that area and just let the excess hang down, and then I can trim it off without whatever it's sitting on getting in the way. That's my cloth cut to length. Now what I would have liked to have done is have these stitched so it's all in one piece, and then glue it on, so that it would have been a nice stitch around there, because you can't do it all in one piece, doesn't matter what you do. I don't know whether the 4-way stretch stuff would do it. I reckon it probably would, but we know I don't want that on here. So because I don't want a 4-way stretch, I want this stuff, and because I'm not giving it to a retrimmer, because we know what happened last time. If you watched the video of the door cards, it didn't turn out well. So I'm going to do away with a retrimmer, and we're going to give it a go to just glue it on. We're going to see how it looks. If it looks shit, then we can just peel it off, and then I can order some more, and we will find a retrimmer who's a good one then, and get it properly retrimmed. But you got to try it out, haven't you? You got to give it a go. What I'm going to have to do, we can't glue that edge that I've cut by there to there like that, because it'll probably start fraying and it'll look pants. So what I'm thinking is, like I did up there and there, just fold it over about 5mm and glue that first, so it's like that, then glue that on there. I think the best bet for me to be able to do this is just to stick it on there and then fold it under and work around like that, because if I'm trying to fold the edge over on a, well, I'll have to set up a trestle somewhere clean, which I haven't got at the moment, and yeah, I think I'll be fighting with it, to be honest. So at least if the bulk of it is taken care of on there, then I can do the edge after. Obviously, because I've already got cloth on here, I don't want glue going all over that, so I've masked it up with some 2-inch tape. So now we'll get some glue on the back of this, and then some glue on the face of this. Wouldn't it be funny now if I didn't order it correctly or measure it correctly, and I've ordered it not long enough? That'd be really funny, wouldn't it? No, it's long enough. It's fine. And I can fold that over. Stick it down, so now it's not going to fray it at all there. And now we can just work our way around the edges. Right, so the first bit is done. Don't get me wrong, it ain't flipping perfect, but it's alright. I mean, I've seen people with stitching and it's not perfect either. Now I just need to put some glue on this area to get it to stick to that. Okay, I think that worked out well. So we've wrapped over the edge so there's no fraying all the way around, and created a nice visual look to it. So now we can take the masking tape off and then trim off the bottom edge, and it should be done. there it is. I think that worked out pretty damn well. I'm happy with that, considering there isn't a stitch in sight. We'll we'll see how long it lasts with pillows and feet and stuff rubbing up against that edge. It might peel it off, but you can re-stick it if you want to. I'm going to get the other one done now. You don't need to see that because it's exactly the same as this one. So there's the other one. That's the passenger side. Yeah, went just as well. My thoughts on this tweed fabric, which I believe is called chenille. I don't know how you pronounce it. It looks French. Otherwise known as textured basket weave as well. I've yet to see it on a camper van or anything in this country. I've seen it in many camper vans in America. It's quite common over there. But you don't really see the four-way stretch stuff in America for some reason. This stuff, really nice to the feel. I think it looks really good as well. It's probably an acquired taste, you know, it's not going to be everyone who likes it. It comes in lots of different colours as well. Pretty much any colour you want, I think. And then obviously you don't have to go for this either. There's other fabrics. As for this one, in terms of fitting, it isn't as easy as the four-way stretch. It was quite difficult in some areas, but it can be manipulated. It can be stretched in certain directions. I managed to get it everywhere where I wanted it with no problem, really. It went well. Price wise, it's not too bad. I think it was about 30 quid for the 5-meter roll. I needed a bit more than that though. I'm not sure how much the four-way stretch is in comparison, but I was pretty happy with that price. And then yeah, you just need the spray glue. I ended up using 3 tins, well, about 2 and a bit actually. I'll pop the link for that in the description where I got it from. You probably get it from many other places as well though. If you've got any questions on it, don't hesitate to pop them in the comments and I'll answer them at the end of the next video. If what I've done in this video or any of the other videos has helped you out in any way, check out the link for Buy Me a Coffee and you can metaphorically buy me a coffee to say thank you. Just a few quick questions to answer. First one was, when do I plan on sorting out the electrics on the seats? It will be done soonish. I gotta buy some switches for the seats first, because the factory switches that are on the sides of the seats, they won't work when putting them in another vehicle, because I think they've got their own circuit board in them and stuff, and yeah, they'll only work when plugged into a Land Rover Discovery. So they gotta be removed, and I'm gonna have to have a control panel fitted either in the same place as them or underneath or something, with aftermarket switches. So I think I need to buy 4 of them for each seat, and they gotta be the like the rocker switches like you have on the electric windows. I have got a guy to do it all for me, but I'm not quite sure when that's going to be yet. It isn't exactly top priority for me at the moment. Once I'm getting to the stage that I need to drive the van, obviously I need to do them. So I will keep you updated and it will be in a video. That's all I can say really. Second question was, why didn't I spray the woodwork in the van instead of using a roller? There's a few reasons for that. One, I tried to start off with, not gonna say like the worst way, but I like to, my plan in my head is to make vans better as I go. So we'll start off with rollering, because by the test I done, I knew it was better than brushing. I didn't want to do brushing, and it looked okay. So then the next van we can do better than that and then do the spraying. Also, I didn't want to go down the extent of removing the uprights that were underneath the bed and all the cabinet, mainly because I didn't really build the cabinet that it could then be removed again. And I think if I did remove it, then the screws would then have to just keep getting bigger and bigger, because by taking them out and putting them back in, they would all start getting loose. And I didn't fancy having to sheet up the entire inside of the van so I could spray that in there. So yeah, a few reasons. They're crap excuses really, aren't they? But there we are. We'll start off with rolling and then work up to spraying. That was all. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.